What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for Royally Quacked, your hockey podcast for Southern California teams. I'm the Royally part of Royally Quacked, and the Quacked part is my partner and my son, the editor, the executive producer, the backbone of Royally Quacked, Cody Spink.
Hi. Well, welcome to episode 63, everyone.
Yeah, in 4 more episodes will be my age.
In 6 more episodes, it'd be a funny number.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. All right. Well,
I don't want to be on your mom's bad side.
it's just a number.
I know.
And we are mom's age for this episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure she wants everyone to know that.
Well, now everybody knows. All right. Well,
remember, your wrath goes towards your son, not your husband this time.
and the youngest son. Not the number one son, the younger son. All right. You ready to get into news?
Sure, let's do it.
You want to start or you want me to start?
You go ahead. You're up on the top of the list. We can just go down the notes.
Okay, perfect. So the Ducks assistant general manager, Martin Madden, this is what he said on Beckett Seneca. He said he's one really good summer away from being able to completely physically play with NHL players, in my mind. There's no doubt he's got the talent to make the jump. He made great strides defensively and see the upside in his offensive game really take another step as well. And that's also what I just said 2 different quotes. The first I just didn't realize that, but the first one where he made to make the jump was from Martin Madden, and the one where he made great strides defensively, see the upside in his offensive game really take another step. That was from Ducks GM Pat Verbeek. God, my notes are really bad this week. That's my fault.
I blame you.
I blame myself too. And this is also what Verbeek said about Zegras. Sometimes you have to take a step back from the offensive game to make improvements in your defensive game. So that's and he was also saying, I think at some point he'll really grasp on how well he could do both really well. And that was from Pat Verbeek on Trevor Zegras.
Wow. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. We're ready for the Angels versus the Yankees. Don't be afraid, Frankie, but the Angels swept the World Series champions. Wait a second. Who did they beat? Who did they beat, Cody?
Honestly, I'm
in the World Series, they beat the Yankees.
I'm at that point where I'm starting to get my hopes up with the Angels, and I know within the next week or 2, it's going to be back to really bad disappointment.
Okay, your mom's going to chime in.
But that's the Angel cycle. Wait, you're rooting for the Yankees that series, anyways. So what am I talking about? No, we're rooting for still rooting for the Angels.
Yeah, we're still Angel fans. We're gluttons for punishment at times.
Yeah,
but who knows? Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe.
And Mom chimes in. Never lost my hope.
Yep. I got a speech about that this morning. So so you know, that's why I'm warning you right now. I'm too negative. Go ahead.
No, go.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. All right. Last bit of Ducks news is, it's more than just Ducks news. It's also a little bit of a league news, but the Ducks are involved. The Canadians, Flames, Ducks, Blackhawks, Mammoth, and Wild are all potential spots for the New York Rangers forward Alexis Lafreniere, per the Bleacher Report.
Interesting.
And no, Frankie, she's definitely not.
She's probably the least likely to ever be a Yankee fan of anybody in our family. She bleeds. I know, honey. They're getting it together.
Yes, they are.
I never mind. I'm not going to go there. Let's hope they keep the hot streak going, especially against the Yankees. Because sorry, Frankie, but the wife has veto power over anything you might say, unfortunately. So, and I don't want to sleep with one eye open tonight.
I think you should, anyways.
Thanks, son. So we're gonna go to Kings news.
Yep, go ahead.
So now I was not able to find this on Mayor's Manor. I know you put this in the notes. So expect the Kings to unveil a new crown alternate jersey over the summer, per John Hoven of mayorsmanor.com. I looked for that and couldn't find it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it. Where did I found it somewhere. I saw it like a few times on Instagram and Twitter. But,
and then Mark Bergevin will remain with the Kings if not hired in a GM role, per Pierre LeBrun.
Well, it sounds like he's already coming back.
And
so
I think it's tonight at 5:00. Jared Woolley, Kings prospect, and the London Knights set to begin their quest for the 2025 Memorial Cup.
Wow. So, London Knights have a good team.
They just seem to be good every year lately. So
yeah, they're one of, like, I would say, the top juniors, Canadian juniors teams usually.
Yeah, well, and we got a prospect on the team, and did they win it all last year?
No, last year it was was it the Saginaw Spirit, I believe. Was it the Saginaw Spirit or the Windsor Spitfires? One of those two.
No, not the Windsor Spitfires, because they have Liam Greentree.
Okay, then it was probably the Saginaw Spirit, because I think what's his name was on it. Rodman Dionisio was on it from the Ducks prospects.
So I mean, the funny thing that you talked about Beckett Seneca. I think the Kings feel the same way. I do believe Liam Greentree will be playing with the Ontario Reign this year, this next season. And
wait, can he play with them though?
I think he's 19.
Yeah, but remember, there's that rule where he has to be like either completely overage to. If he's not overage, because each Canadian juniors team can have, I think, like 2 or 3 overage players, and I think it's like 20 or over, I believe. So it's either, if you don't make the professional team like the Ducks or Kings, you have to play. You can't play in the AHL. You have to play in the juniors.
Yeah, you have to be 20.
Okay.
Let's see. And he won't be 20 till January. So he may have to play in the juniors until he turns 20.
Yeah. I mean, he can always do that 9-game, with the Kings to start the season to see how he looks, and then, go from there.
But he was one of the leading scorers in the OHL.
Yeah.
And he had like tons of goals. He was like up there scoring goals and so forth. So there's a possible. Well, I think within 2 years he'll probably be on the Kings. Because you'll probably have some retirement and people let go. So we want to get to league news?
Yep. You want to start?
Sure. The Bruins have signed their GM, Don Sweeney, to a 2-year extension.
A lot of 50-50 on this one, I've heard.
Well, especially with the fall of the Bruins this last season.
Yeah.
You know, what's next? Is Pasternak going to ask for a trade? What do you think? I mean, it's a possibility.
I don't think so. I mean, if you think about it, they already have a good core there. You know, they have Pasternak already set up. They already have Charlie McAvoy. They got Jeremy Swayman. They already got, you know, a top forward, a top defenseman, and a top goalie. You know, and they already got a lot of draft picks. They opened up some cap space. You know, so I don't think they're going to tear it down. I think it's going to be like a very quick retool.
It could be.
So
a lot of that depends on how well you draft and what kind of free agents you go after and are able to sign. So we'll see what happens with the Bruins through this offseason. It's going to be once the Stanley Cup's over, you're going to see a lot of things happening. It's going to be exciting this summer, I think. We're going to have some fun podcasts. So are we going to the next bit of news? Do you want it, or am I doing the
I'll do it.
one?
The Islanders have asked the Maple Leafs ownership for permission to speak with Brendan Shanahan as the New York Islanders searches for a new president of hockey operations and general manager, and that was per Pierre LeBrun.
Ooh. Well, I guess the next one kind of answers that question. The Maple Leafs are not renewing the contract of Brendan Shanahan.
Yeah.
So
I kind of figured that. I kind of figured that was happening. And then the Leafs also said, like, yeah, you can talk, the Islanders, you can talk to him, because they're like, yeah, we're probably not going to bring him back anyways. So,
wow.
Yeah. And then next bit of news is, according to Larry Brooks, and he's a very credible source with the New York Rangers, forward Matt Rempe is expected to have interest around the league this summer, and teams are willing to send an offer sheet to bring him in. Rep Nation may be out of the Empire Nation.
Oh, we'll see what happens with that. And you know, and let's if you look at hockey, you know, a lot of times these championships are won by the role players. And that's what he is. He's a role player. He plays a role on the team. And he's a big bruising guy who can, you know, change momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where he could be highly sought after. And he's got some skills for being that big and so forth.
Yeah.
And being that he's kind of like, you know, one of the tough guys, I guess. He's got some skills. Kind of reminds me a little bit like Marty McSorley. You know, McSorley, he had some skills, and but he was a tough guy too. So
yeah.
So on to the next piece of news. The Seattle Kraken have been granted permission to speak with Lane Lambert for their head coaching position. Mitch Love and David Quinn are also in the mix there.
I'm surprised Seattle hasn't picked a coach yet. I mean, there is still, 3 coaching spots available now?
With the Bruins,
Penguins, and Kraken. And the Island, and there could be 4 because of the whole Islanders situation.
Well, we're not going to talk about something that isn't there yet.
I know. I'm just saying it could be. That's what I've been hearing. So, according to an article from Vegas Hockey Now, the only untouchable on the Vegas Golden Knights roster is forward Jack Eichel. I figured he'd be the untouchable.
Only untouchable. I don't know. I would think my team has plenty of untouchables right now.
Yeah.
Although I guess with the right trade,
I think I'm guessing, because this is also from what I've heard is, I think they're doing this is because I think they want to have cap room to get Marner. So,
Well,
yeah.
the rich get richer and the poor have kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
So it sounds like the Toronto Maple Leafs have begun trade conversations surrounding Mitchell Marner's UFA rights. If Marner wants to sign with a specific team, the Maple Leafs would prefer not to lose him for nothing and could flip his rights to give that team a few days and weeks to negotiate exclusively with him before free agency.
Yeah.
Well, you want Mitch Marner pretty bad, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and there's rumors even the Kings are interested in.
I've heard that. I've heard that
And
too.
I go, um, what would you be willing to give up for Mitch Marner? You know, it would. I mean, and this is just the negotiating rights.
Yeah. That's a good question.
But then again, you could always have a trade with. They have to be able to sign him first before you trade him. You trade for him. Otherwise, they have an agreement, and if they can come up with term with him, then the trade happens. I probably wouldn't do it any other way. I mean, because what are they going to want? They're going to want Leo Carlson. They're going to want McTavish.
I'm not trading Leo Carlson for that.
McTavish, Zegras, and picks, or what would you think? I mean, you're talking about an elite player.
No, yeah,
who kind of didn't play well against Florida.
I mean, he just didn't play well at all, really.
So I don't know. It all sounds good to me. You know, it's nice to get a superstar because he'd be considered a superstar. I don't know what I wouldn't be willing to trade Byfield for him. And you're not willing to trade Carlson. So we'll see what happens. You know, maybe it's just going to be some other young guys and draft picks.
Yeah. Let's see. It would have to be for the right price. But I mean, we're only talking about UFA rights. So
it'd probably be a lesser.
Yeah.
They'll get something for him, but not what they would in a real trade.
If I had to guess, yes.
I mean, I'd be willing to trade like Moore and Spence for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but you guys also need to give out more cap room to be able to sign him probably too. The Ducks don't have that issue.
True. Probably more likely to be a Duck than a King, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but and everything, because who doesn't want to get 100-point player, so. All right. Next bit of news is defenseman Dmitry Shimashev confirms that he will be joining the Mammoth for the 2025-2026 season. He was drafted 6th overall by the Arizona Coyotes, now the Utah Mammoth, in the 2023 NHL draft.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Mammoth, with the new logo and everything else, it's like they started all over again for a second year. To get a good young guy to come in and play for them. It's just another thing to get the seats sold and sellouts.
It's crazy what happens when you can get a good ownership to help a team. Angels, Artie Moreno. Sorry, I have a nasty cough this morning.
I hate to tell you, but you're going over Mom and I's conversation, and you weren't even here.
Oh, yeah.
I said the same. I'm negative Gary right now.
All right.
So I guess Islanders are hiring
Matthew Darsh
as the team's GM per Pierre LeBrun's in everything we do in here lately.
Yeah, him and John Buccigross has been in a lot too. I've been
Yeah.
hearing.
Where's the one guy that doesn't like the Ducks?
Can't
remember his name now.
I'm pretty sure if I say one word, you're gonna be, oh yeah, Frank.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but Matthew, I think he's been. I think he even interviewed for the Ducks GM job, I believe. So it's about time he got his own a gig. I think he's been working under, I believe, the Tampa Bay Lightning guy, Julian Breezewall, I believe is his name. So I think he'll do good. You know, he's had a lot of experience as an assistant general manager, so I think he'll be good. He'll be good for the Islanders. Give him something different too.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And speaking of general managers, here is the General Manager of the Year award, and here are the finalists. Kevin Cheveldayoff, Jim Neal, and Bill Zito are the finalists for the 2024-2025 Jim Gregory General Manager of the Year award.
And the winner is, who do you think?
Me. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's gonna be Bill Zito this year.
Okay. Guess we'll find out soon, huh?
I think we find out the draft. I think that's on the. We find out that during the draft.
And that is the end of June, right?
End of June. Yep.
Okay, we still got a month.
Yeah.
Dang it! I can't wait for that.
Yep.
Okay. Jeff Blashill is the 42nd head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks.
42nd coach. That's crazy. The Ducks are only on their 12th.
Okay.
Chicago
was one of the original
I know.
6, so
I know. I know, but still. No, Jeff Blashill, he's a good coach. He was the Rangers coach for 6 years. He got there just as they were not on the up. Like they were more on the down end. And guess who I believe was his first general manager? Ken Holland.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have repeated news on the next part, Cody.
Oh, then skip it then.
I think I just did it is your turn, wasn't it?
Yeah. Alex Ovechkin wins the Mark Messier NHL Leadership Award. The Mark Messier Leadership Award is an NHL award that players selected by Hockey Hall of Famer center Mark Messier to honor an individual who leads by positive example through on ice performance, motivation of team members, and dedication to community activities and charitable causes.
Just another note on Matthew Darsh. He's also executive vice president, and he will manage all aspects of teams' hockey operations. The second part was a little bit more detailed, so I thought I'd throw that in real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do we want to go do the playoff or do the World Championships first?
Do the World Championships, because you said you have all that.
Okay. So here's an update from the World Championships.
Now, do you have all Ducks and Kings or just Kings?
I have Ducks and Kings, and I'll do it all.
Okay.
Cool. I did that research because I know you did most of this other research because I had hell week at work. Thank you for some Kings news I didn't even know, and I appreciate that. The World Championship updates right now. Switzerland and Denmark are playing in the semifinals to see who gets to play. Who would you guess? You think USA. Canada? Nope. USA beat Sweden 6-2 the other day. They're in the championship. The only team I think that beat the USA was Switzerland, which beat them 3-0. So here are some of the stats from the World Championships for you Ducks and Kings fans. First of all, I'll do the Ducks. From Sweden, you have Isaac Lundestrom and Leo Carlson. Lundestrom has a goal and 3 assists, which they got knocked out by USA the other day, and he was a +4. Leo Carlson had 4 goals and 4 assists, and he was a +1. Okay, so Norway has Stan Solberg, and he had 4 goals and 2 assists, and he was also a +1.
He also had a hat trick for the tournament. The Norwegian Nightmare is not only a nightmare on defense, he's a nightmare on offense too. Oh,
There you go.
I'm looking forward to him.
Yeah, he was an exciting pick and an interesting guy when we went to that. Well, was it like it wasn't really it was like a fan information. What was that called? The Ducks
Oh, the flock party.
Block Party. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot
I
of
enjoyed
fun.
it, even though I'm a Kings fan. It was fun. Also, on Team USA, 2 Ducks. Jackson Lacombe, who has 2 goals and 3 assists, and was a +11, which is second best in the tournament for plus minus. And then Cutter Gauthier, 5 goals, 4 assists for and a +9, is tied for 6th in scoring in the tournament. Now we go to our Kings. There was 3 Kings in the tournament. Canada had Philip Deneau. He had 2 goals when it was a +1. And then playing for Slovakia, Martin Kromiak had 1 goal but was a -3. But Kevin Fiala comes in and plays for Switzerland. And he didn't even play, I think, in 2 games. He had 3 goals, 6 assists, and is a +8, which was tied for 13th in the tournament.
Eesh.
And I think his first game was against USA. And boy, did he smack us down.
Yeah.
He smacked us down bad. So now we're going to go to playoffs.
Yep. So when we last left off, let's see, let me get to NHL playoffs. NHL. So last time we left off, we didn't have a winner between Toronto and Florida.
Correct.
And it was the typical Toronto meltdown again.
Yeah.
At home. That Toronto lost Game 7 6-1. So in 2 very serious games at home in Toronto, combined they lost 12-2 at home. So they melt down. So now Florida moves on to play Carolina. And right now, Carolina has the first 2 home games, and guess who wins both games? Florida and Carolina. Yep. So right now, Florida, and I believe they play tonight too. I believe, is it tonight? Let's see. Click on that. Yes, they play tonight in Florida. So, and that game starts at 5:00 Pacific Standard Time, and you can watch it on TNT or HBO Max.
Wow.
I kind of like that it's on Max. I kind of like that. It's a little easier to watch. I mean, I still like the Victory Plus thing for the Ducks. Of course, the only downside of the Victory Plus is you see the same 8 commercials a million times a game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, it's free, so can't complain. So that's for the Eastern Conference, and then we last left off. We didn't have a winner between Winnipeg and Dallas. In Game 6 in Dallas, and I believe I brought this up shortly on the podcast last week that Mark Scheifele's dad, Brad Scheifele, he passed away early that morning, and we found out, and we didn't know if he was going to play or not, but he said he was going to play. I think someone even told him, was like, hey, if you don't play, you're going to regret it not playing. So he ended up playing, and it was a good thing he did because he got the first goal of the game. and that was good to see and everything like that. I kind of wish this game would have turned out differently for him at the same time because
Yeah,
um
that hurt my heart
yes,
watching that game.
it did. And
And but you
so
get okay. Can I jump in
yeah,
there just a little bit?
go ahead.
So he did what he had to do because the guy had a breakaway,
Yeah,
and he did take the guy down, and it didn't even be a penalty. I thought it should have been a penalty shot.
I thought it was gonna be a penalty shot
Yeah,
too.
and it wasn't, but it ended up being a penalty, 2-minute penalty, and the game-winning goals got scored on that
So
power play.
we were tied. The game was tied 1-1 at that point. Sam Steele had a breakaway chance, and Mark Scheifele tripped him right at the blue line.
And no doubt, it was a good. It had to be called.
It had to be called. It was completely blatant. I just wish it was anyone but Scheifele at that time. And as much as
Yes.
I want the Stars to win, but I didn't want them to win at that point right there, especially with Scheifele in the box
Yeah.
and everything. But I can tell you this: whatever happened with the Dallas Stars after the game, all of them talking to Scheifele, the fans of Dallas, all of them donating $55 to Mark Scheifele's charity because his number is 55. Even the Dallas Stars donated 55 grand to the charity, and then even the Dallas Stars owner um, set up Scheifele in his private jet to go back to, I believe, Ontario in Canada, so he can go be with his family and be there for his dad's funeral and everything. So that, like I said, very class act from the hockey world right there. They and the Dallas fans and everyone. So, like I said, I massive respect to everyone right there. The donations, the owner
Yes.
donating, and also giving Shifley a private jet so he can go back to be with his family at that time.
Well,
What's that noise in the background?
what noise?
I hear like a beep.
Yeah, I know. I heard it too. Maybe it's coming from my phone. I don't have my volume on.
Hmm. But yeah, so Dallas scored in overtime and they move on. Like I said, I kind of wish it wasn't with Shifley in the box. That's the only thing I wish that did not happen.
Well, this is just solid proof that hockey is the greatest sport that almost everybody should enjoy,
Yeah.
because it's a very physical game, just like football is. But I mean, it's got a whole different mentality. I mean, they're out beating each other up, but then after the game, they're hugging about it, and because they're competitive guys and they play
Yeah.
hard. But in most cases, um, they're caring people.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I mean, what Dallas did just shows total class, you know. And I know I got knocked out because Toronto was my team to go in the final from the preseason thing we did.
Yeah.
Now it's you and Eric are the only ones that can go, and one of you's going to do it, and the other isn't. And
Yeah.
sorry, I'm voting for Eric's team, not yours.
I'm voting for Eric's team too, low key.
So, anyways, that's just I didn't know all that stuff that they donated all that money.
Yeah,
That just makes me love hockey even more.
exactly.
I just wish the world could see what we see in hockey. And maybe it will come. Maybe it'll get bigger than some of these other sports.
I'm hoping so. But now we move into the Western Conference Final. On game 1 on Wednesday, the Dallas Stars won that game 6-3 with a huge comeback in the third period because the Oilers had a 3-1 lead, but the Oilers got into horrible penalty trouble and Dallas uh took full advantage of it.
So you want to
Uh
hear something funny?
huh.
When I started watching the game, it was 3-1. The next thing you know, it's 6-3.
Yeah.
That was all in the third period.
All in the third period.
So You're welcome, Dallas fans. Me turning in right at the right time because they scored a goal almost immediately within at least a minute or two after me starting to watch the game. Your team would not have won that game without me watching it.
Oh yeah, it's all because of you, Dad.
It's
All
all
because of
because of me. I just sitting there going, "Oh
all
crap!" I
this.
go, "Crap! This is the last year all over again." And then they made that comeback, and I go, "Oh, I got hope."
Yep, and then we had a game last night, and the Oilers shut out the Stars 3-0 to tie the series. Now they play tomorrow in Edmonton, and that game is at noon Pacific time, and you can watch that game on ABC or ESPN Plus. So go Dallas.
Go Dallas!
You know what's funny about Stuart Skinner right now? He either has a below was it an 850 save percentage in a game or or a shutout. There is no in between. I want to say he gives up. I want to say at least 4 goals a game. I want to say, or he shuts them out. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Mhm. So let's see. Is that yep? That's it for the playoffs so far. So now we're gonna go into team awards. We got some serious ones and we got a couple funny ones. If anyone's watching live, if you have a funny award you would like us to do, put it in the comments and we will do it pretty much right after you tell us the award name and tell us what the award means too. So that way we have an idea.
Yeah, because Cody created some of these, and I wasn't exactly sure what it meant, so I had to ask him before I put
Yeah.
in someone. So
Okay. So the Heart Award for the Ducks and Kings. Who is your Heart winner for the Kings, Dad?
my heart winner would. I mean, okay, so I this was to me a runaway, but a couple other players that I would say would be in the running for it would be obviously Adrian Kempe, who led the team in scoring. Um, Anze Kopitar, who was only a few points behind Kempe, would also be there. And two players, I just want to talk about these two players because I in the second half, I think they were the driving force for the Kings, and that would be Kevin Fiala and Quentin Byfield. I thought their second halves were incredible, and if they would have done the first half that same way, I think one of them would have led the team in scoring. So, um, and I think that needs to happen. I
Yeah.
think one of them, they need to be up there with Kempe and Kopitar if he can do it for one more year because he's incredible. But my winner is Darcy Kemper. I don't think they got where they did without Darcy Kemper. He is a Vesna finalist for the NHL awards. So Darcy Kemper is my pick for the Hart Trophy for the Kings.
You went with the goalie, and I went with the goalie because I don't think the Ducks would have had a 21-point increase in the standings if it wasn't for this player. And that is Greg Cronin. No, I'm just kidding. Lukas Dostal is our Hart Trophy winner for the Anaheim Ducks because, like I said, without him, and he was up in the Vesna standings most of the season, so he was there. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to be a finalist, but I knew he was going to be top 10 for sure. And I still think he was top 10, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, Lukas Dostal is my Hart Trophy winner for the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay, I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
So now we're
So,
going to go to a Norris Trophy,
mhm.
and I think, in all honesty, that the defensemen need, and I think we have talked about this, and they need another trophy because typically the Norris Trophy winner goes to the top scoring defenseman in hockey. And it's
Okay.
supposed to be an overall award. And I think we need to have something else like I don't know, I don't know who you have some people. I think you said you would name it after if it was for a defensive defenseman.
I think they were thinking like a Bobby Orr.
Well, Bobby Orr would be a Norris Trophy.
Yeah.
He was I mean, he led the league in scoring.
I mean, we can always do. Who are like the top defensive defensemen? Like just someone you want as a shutdown guy. Well, we can always call it the Slavin Award.
Yeah. Well, hey, Dowdy was that for a while.
Yeah, but he was also an offensive guy though too.
Yeah, but that's a reason he would be in the Norris Trophy talk almost every year up until the last few years. So, but my pick for the Norris Trophy isn't. I think he was the leading goal scorer, defenseman scorer for the Kings is Vladislav Gavrikov.
No, he was not.
Was it Clark by a few points?
But literally by a few points. 3.
Yeah. I would still take Gavrikov.
Yeah.
Because without him, he went up to the top line, switched sides, and did a fantastic job and deserves the Kings to pay him this year. Hopefully they do, and we keep him.
Yeah, he's a UFA.
Yeah, he is a UFA. Something for you Kings fans, pray that they sign Gavrikov. If not, hopefully they have a plan to replace him and spend that money wisely elsewhere, but I'm hoping they re-sign him. Runner up would be Clark. So I don't think there's anybody else. I mean, I also thought Edmondson played great hockey this year for the Kings.
Yeah.
But Gavrikov was a clear-cut choice for me.
So my Norris pick was Jackson Lacombe. And he was just all around the best defensive defenseman for the Ducks this year by far. He led the defense in points. You could tell, and he was out there for the power play. He was out there for the penalty kill, and he kind of also helped Radko Gudas be better defensively. Funny how that sounds, and everything. But we're talking about a player. No, I'll talk about that more about this later. But he had 14 goals and 29 assists and everything. Didn't take that many penalties or anything. So like the time on ice, but yeah, like I said, I would say he is my Norris winner. So, and then the Vezina Trophy. I'll go first for this one because you've gone first.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like this is pretty simple for both of our teams, anyways. Is Lukasz Dostal again is my pick for the Vezina Trophy.
No brainer.
Yeah, I mean, he was, definitely the best goalie for the team, and I believe he is the future number one. He is the future number one for the Anaheim Ducks, and I even said that last year before the season started.
Well, I mean, it's not even a question who I would pick.
Yeah.
If I don't pick this guy, I'm nuts. And some people think I'm nuts anyways, but that's okay.
That's true.
It would be Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
So clear-cut winner. Yeah. Nobody else even. I mean, Dostal was a clear-cut winner.
Yeah. And then now we got the Selke Trophy. And my Selke Trophy winner is going to be Alex Killorn. He was a plus 12 for the Ducks, so I believe he had the highest plus 12 for the Ducks too. So like I said, he looked good in every defensive situation. He was good on the penalty kill, and he was good even on 5-on-5 defensively too. So he is my clear-cut Selke winner for the Anaheim Ducks.
Well, mine is a lot tougher pick. I mean, part of the Selke is you should have really one of the best plus minuses, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, I picked. I think he's even. I think he's. Is he up? No, he's up for the Lady Bing, and he isn't in the Selkie. Kopitar's not in the Selkie, is he? He's not one of the 3 picks.
No,
I think he's Lady Bing.
he's Lady Bing. The 3 Selkie was Reinhardt, Sorelli, and Barkov.
Okay. Anyways, I did pick Kopitar for the Selkie, but I mean, I if I don't mention this guy, actually 3 guys. Warren Fogle, who led the team with a plus 36. Philip Deneau, plus 20, and Quentin Byfield, plus 16. Because if Fogle and Byfield didn't step it up, I don't think Kopitar would have come close to being with Kempe, because he would get dog tired on the penalty kill. And the Kings really had a good rotation. That's one reason they had the second. They were second in allowing goals against. They were the second best team, and a lot of that was because of Byfield, Fogle, and the whole units. They just played as a team. But my pick for the Selkie would be Anze Kopitar.
Yeah. And plus, he's out there probably more defensively than anyone else.
Actually, Byfield and Fogle were out there just as much as he was, and with Kempe. And then they had, even a third team, which I think was Deneau and Moore.
Yeah.
And so all 3 of those teams shared that. So nobody got overworked. I mean, the only thing is that we got to get Byfield better with faceoffs. So Kobe doesn't have to be out there to win faceoffs, because I mean, it's him and Deneau are the big faceoff guys. I mean, Byfield was definitely like at 45%, I think. You got to be over 50.
Yeah.
So now we go on to most improved. And I think, to me, even though it was his first year with the team, this guy, above anybody else, deserved to be the most improved player for the Kings. He scored more goals than he'd ever scored before, 24, and the most points he'd ever scored, 46. And he led the team in plus minus 36. Most improved player for the Kings was Warren Fogle.
Yeah. No, that's a good pick, and that would have been my pick for you guys too. My pick for the Anaheim Ducks, and it's a defenseman, so that's why I'm telling you the stats beforehand. Last year, in 71 games, he had 2 goals and 15 points, 15 assists for 17 points. He was a minus 24, and he had 24 penalty minutes, 2 power play points, and 1 shorthanded point. And he had 1 game-winning goal and a time on ice of 19:23. This season, this player played 75 games, 14 goals, 29 assists, and 43 points. Yeah, that's right. He went from 2 goals to 14, 15 assists to 29, and then 17 points to 43. So he almost had as many points he had as many goals as he did points last season combined. He was complete even this season on plus minus. 28 penalty minutes, 2 power play goals, 9 power play points, and 1 shorthanded point. And my most improved player is Jackson Lacombe.
Yeah, I agree.
He
was a
was
surprise.
a big surprise.
You thought Zellweger would have been there before him, and
Yeah.
boy, and he's playing for Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fun to watch.
He's
I mean,
so
I
much
watched
fun to
many
watch.
of the Ducks games. I mean, just because I'm a Kings fan, I'm a hockey fan first. I watch a lot of hockey. I watch it. I'm on the hockey network, the NHL network, all the time. So, I think they're blessed with the rise of Jackson Lacombe.
Yes, he is our true number one right now.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Now we go to one of those fun picks.
Yep.
Right, Cody?
So instead of the green jacket as like what we would, in golf, for the Masters, we did the orange jacket and the silver jacket to make it more for our team. So this is an award
it's
you
not
don't want to get.
Yes, absolutely. It's not like you win the Masters, but how do you win the Masters, Cody?
You have the most shots under par.
Right. So you're a negative. So
Yep.
the picks for this are going to be the people with the
worst negative.
Yes,
The worst plus minus. Yep.
Right. So do you want me to go first on this one, Cody? Or you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So even though this guy, along with Quentin Byfield, I think really had incredible great second halves, he wins the Silver Jacket Award, Kevin Fiala. Now, what's funny is he's playing for Switzerland right now, and I think I said he was a +8 in like 6 games for Switzerland. And what else I find funny is he played mostly with Byfield and Laferriere. Laferriere was a +22 and Byfield was a +16. He was a -7. So I think, for a while there, they were, when they would not play a full 4 lines, guys were, and he would play a lot on the fourth line, and I think maybe that's why he got this award. So it might have been a kind of a penalty for getting that extra playing time.
Yeah.
But I think in the second half of the season, he definitely picked it up, and hopefully he's going to be a plus player next year.
Do you want to know what Kevin Fiala's plus minus was in the playoffs?
Sure.
0. He was even in the playoffs.
Oh, that was against Edmonton.
Yep.
And I think if you had 0 in that aspect, that was good.
Yeah.
Especially when you lose 4 out of 6 games.
Yeah.
And some of them, I mean, the onslaught was the Oiler onslaught was like I don't know, Genghis Khan and all those guys when they try to take over the world. I mean, somebody ends up defeating them, but it's they take most countries with them. So, anyways.
All right, and then my orange jacket is going to Jansen Harkins. And I actually really like Jansen Harkins, but he was a -13. But I can tell you, it was a close Ducks Masters one because Isaac Lundstrom was a -12. So right there, I guess Harkins won on the playoff round. But Jansen Harkins, honestly, I think he was like one of the few people that actually had a good face-off percentage on the team. I like Jansen Harkins, but he's those typical fourth line people. He was up and down with the Ducks and goals. I believe once he got called, he started with the goals and they got called up to the Ducks. A little part in the season, but like I said, I like him because he gets into the dirty areas. He fights for the puck. But yeah, he's a fourth liner. So I guess, but he's someone that I like on my team. But yeah, he was a -13, so he is. Congratulations, sadly, to Jansen Harkins on getting the orange jacket. And then we're gonna do the Cy Young Award. So this award is based off of goals and assists, and you want to have pretty much more goals than assists in a way. You want to have like a Cy Young record. So for the Ducks, our Cy Young winner this season is Sam Colangelo. The reason why I picked him is because he had, let's see, where is it? He had, let's see, where did he go? 10 goals and 2 assists. So if you look at it like as a
Win-loss.
A win-loss. He had 10 wins and 2 losses, pretty much. So, and that's kind of like what you want to see in a Cy Young winner in baseball for a pitcher. So Sam Colangelo, you win the Cy Young Award for the Anaheim Ducks for the 2024-2025 season.
So I don't have anybody that would have that great of a record. Like 10-2 is a pretty good record for a pitcher in baseball.
Mhm.
But I want to go with some of my runner-ups. Samuel Hellenius had 4 goals and 3 assists, so he was 4-3. Trevor Lewis was 6-6, 6 goals, 6 assists. Tanner Jeannot, 7 goals, 6 assists. But the winner by far, won the silver jacket also, would be Kevin Fiala. He was 35-25. He was a busy pitcher. He
Mhm.
pitched he had decisions in 60 games, which would be more than a third of a season in baseball.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but that would make the most sense because he had 10 more wins than losses.
Yeah. And when you explain that to me, I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm sorry. Warren Fogle was 24-22, which would be
Yeah.
a little bit probably more realistic.
Yeah. That's still a lot of wins and losses. When was the last time we even had a 20-game winner in the MLB? It's been a while, hasn't it?
I don't know.
Hmm.
And I'm so focused on hockey anymore. I still like to go to games for baseball and so forth, but I'm not focused on it.
Yeah.
So
True.
it just isn't as important.
Yep. And then the last award we have is the Best Fantasy Hockey Player Award, with who has the most fantasy points. And yours is not right, by the way. But I don't know if it's
Why?
including everyone.
No, you said best fantasy player.
Yeah.
He got an ESPN. It was on our ESPN. The league we had. It was.
Oh,
They
he's not
always.
even on here. That's why. Why doesn't it show the goalies too? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wonder.
but
I'm going to see if it's.
according to our fantasy league, Anze Kopitar had 498 points, 498.35 points. On average, he had 6.2 points a game. And then Darcy
don't know if
Kemper had 362 points, and he averaged 7.2 points a game.
I'm going to see if I can get it up because it's still on our fantasy hockey.
Yeah. But my fantasy player of the year, since while you're looking that up, is go back to Anaheim. 362.
Now, how would I share this?
Oh, so mine's wrong too. Lukas Dostal is our fantasy player of the year. He had 362.75 points this season. He had a 6.1 average, but in a close second was Mason McTavish with 349.75 points. He averaged 4.6 points a game.
So, how would I share what I'm looking at?
Do you have a share button at the bottom of the thing?
Bottom of what thing?
Like on StreamYard.
Oh crap! I'm gonna get back over.
Or do you want to send me the link? Or put it in the notes?
Not sure how to do that. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just add it to the notes.
I just sent it to you on your phone.
That does not help.
How do you want me to send it to you?
Hold on.
You want me to send it to your email?
Hold on.
Or maybe
I don't think it's up anymore because it's kicking me out. Oh, there it is. Okay.
if you go down, it says 2025 Fantasy Hockey Awards MVP stars and surprises of the season. And it's a picture of Darcy Kemper.
Wow. Okay. Yep. Fantasy Heart Trophy, Most Valuable Player finalists Zach Werenski, Mark Scheifele, and Darcy Kemper. I don't know what's this. Let's see. The fantasy version of this hardware has some expectations built into the selection rubric. All three of our nominees were heroes at their position based on their availability in drafts. A healthy Werenski proved he is among the top tier of defenders. An inspired season out of the Jets was led by Hellebuck and Scheifele, but Kemper has to be the winner after losing his starter's job in Washington and then being shipped to the Kings only to start the season with injury issues. He is now jostling for third among all goaltenders in total fantasy points as the season winds down. I don't know why. If he was third, why is he winning?
Third in fantasy points. Well, because he didn't play as
What
many
is-
games.
What does ADP mean, though?
I don't know. But that's why I picked him.
Okay. Well, mine is Dostal and McTavish. Dostal was number one with 362 points, and McTavish had 3. I was just going just off of fantasy points combined, all together.
Yeah,
So
well, it probably would have
yours,
been
yours was
Kopitar.
easily Kopitar, and then Dano was next with 355 points.
I know why too.
Yeah, and then Kemper was technically number 2. Like I said, I was just going off of just fantasy points.
Yeah. Okay.
So for yours it would be Kopitar and Kemper, and mine would be McTavish and Dostal.
Okay.
So, all right, and then we do have one question from my buddy Lewis. If you could buy a Ducks/Kings jersey now, what current player would you get?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'd probably get Quentin Byfield.
Okay. I think I said I would get either a Carlson, Minchikov, or Dostal jersey.
Minchikov.
Yeah,
I thought Cutter Gauthier would be in there somewhere.
I don't want it because I think I'm only picking them right now is because they have their final jerseys. I have a feeling Cutter's going to change his number soon. It's just a gut feeling I have.
Okay. I don't know. I like the double.
But I like Cutter though too. He'd be. I just picked one for each position.
Well, I got a quick jersey already, so I have my goalie, and he's going to be the greatest Kings goalie for I don't know how much longer. I got a Kopitar jersey. Yes, thanks to you. The highest scoring King, I think, ever. I think, or maybe he's just behind Dion.
I don't
still
think so. I could look that
but
up.
I mean, for longevity, yeah, he might be the highest scoring King. Maybe not the King that has the most career points because Dion played at Detroit for a while. And then I think they traded him, and he played somewhere else for maybe a season or two. So I would get Byfield. Would be probably the one I'd get, or Clark. I'm really into the younger guys this season, wanting to see them do well. And by the way, on the Norris Trophy, Clark would have been the runner-up.
Yeah.
And I do believe if they're smart, both him and Byfield. I mean, Byfield already did play more, but Clark needs to play more for next season.
So let's see.
So who would you pick? You already said. So what
for which one?
You already picked. You said it would be Dostal.
For what award?
No, I was just throwing that award thing out, but for the
Oh.
jersey, you already said.
Oh yeah, I would probably get. I think the two I would get the most is either Dostal or Carlson.
Okay.
Let's see points. How
What do
many
you
total
look at?
points? I'm trying to find out how many total points. Okay, so I have. So, right now Dion has 1,307 points as a king, just as a king,
Okay, so
and Kopitar's at 1,278, so 1,278.
so if he scores 70 points again, he'll be ahead of him.
Yeah. Of course, he only has to score what? Over 35 points the next season.
What?
He only has to score 37, 35 points.
How many points did you say Dion had?
1,307.
Oh, I thought you said 37 or something like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, he'll do it next year.
Yeah.
He'll be the all-team. But of course, he did it in a lot more seasons because Dion was a 100-point a season guy for a while.
Was he?
Yeah.
Let's see. Points.
He was on the Triple Crown line.
He only did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times over 100.
Only.
Yeah, and one of those seasons was with Detroit, and then all the other seasons were with LA. He was more with LA than any other team, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
because
of
he
a
had
player.
in 4 years with Detroit, he had 366 points, and then 3 years with the Rangers. Towards the end of this career, he had 98 points in 3 years. Wow, his plus minus was horrible after in LA he was a plus 105, but in Detroit and New York he was a minus 50 in Detroit and then a minus 28 in New York.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see, who's the best goal scorer of all time for
The Kings? Luke Robitaille.
Yeah, I don't think Kopitar is ever going to get that.
No. He's not. That's not his main thing. Goal scoring.
You think Kempe could reach it?
No.
Yeah. Kopitar already has the most assists.
Yeah.
Who has the best plus minus in Kings history?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
He was a general manager for the Kings.
Dave Taylor?
Dave Taylor.
Got
He
him.
was a plus 186.
Yeah.
Who had the most penalties in minutes for the Kings? This one should be easy.
McSorley?
McSorley.
I mean, they did have Dave Williams, but he didn't. I don't think he played with the
He's
Kings.
not even top 10.
I only think he played a season or two.
Yeah, this is just Kings.
Okay.
So, but let's go back to playoffs. Let's see. For the Western Conference Final, before we do it again, it'll be Game 6 is Saturday. Do you think we have a winner in the Dallas Edmonton series by the time we go next week?
You mean before
we record next week? So
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I agree. And then Florida and Carolina, Game 6 is Friday. Do you think that series is over?
Yes.
Mom says she wants a Dostal one. And then
save your money, honey.
And let's actually put this out there. If you fans, do you guys want, what player jersey do you want for Ducks or Kings? If you're a Kings fan, what Kings player do you want on the back of your jersey? And Ducks fans, who do you want on your back? Like, do you want Dostal, McTavish, Zegras, Carlson?
Well, you know the one
Harkins?
You know the one I'd want more than any other is, right? That I don't have.
Byfield.
No. He would be the player I'd pick today for the current team.
Brownie.
No. Who's my favorite player?
Oh, Robitaille.
Robitaille. I don't have a Robitaille jersey. I have my second favorite player is a Duck. I love Teemu Selanne, and you got me that jersey. I don't have a Robitaille one yet. I would like to get. I saw one. I but I'm not sure it's real.
Yeah.
It was signed, and if you run a real one, it's like $1,000 signed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it.
yeah. That's what I. It's too much money for me right now. If I'm rolling in dough, I'll buy one.
Yeah. So and next week we are doing the King's Grades episode, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so next week there will not be a regular podcast. We're just doing, I mean, you probably won't see me anyways, but I may pop in and out. But next week we are doing just a Kings grading episode next week. So it's going to be all Kings.
Yep.
Ducks fans, don't worry. We're going to do it the week after. Don't worry. Oh, the reason why we're just doing it a little later is because of just for scheduling purposes and everything with the people that we're having on. So that's
Yeah.
it.
So we're gonna have, I hope, 3 special guests on.
Yep. And
One,
I got 2, maybe 3, maybe.
and I got one other podcaster, I hope,
Yeah.
and 2 Kings fans.
Yeah.
So
So
I hope you stay tuned for that. We're gonna have fun. It'll be streaming live at right about 10 o'clock next Saturday morning.
so Kings fans, don't forget to put in your grades on the Google Forms. It is in the show notes. It's in our link tree. Click on it. You guys are a lot better because it's funny because I posted a video of me talking crap on your Kings fans last week about not doing it. And after that, you got more responses after I did that.
Yeah, way to go, Cody.
So right now you got
Challenge those Kings fans.
Yes, because and you guys are still behind Kings fans. So far, 6 responses for the Kings, and I believe there was 12 for the Ducks last time I checked. There was just Kings
Let's
just now.
catch up before next Saturday, fans. Catch up before next Saturday.
What's that? Was it 12? Yeah, so 12. So you guys are halfway behind us still. But a lot of people took, it's like, okay, we'll prove you wrong, Cody, and prove me wrong, please do it.
Yeah,
The more people we get to grade, the better.
absolutely.
So, but so like I said, you guys won't see me as much next week. I'll probably be in the background, but I'm also on call at work, so I may probably be better if I am backstage, that just in case I have to take a work call. So it kind of works out in my favor. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Kings grading episode next week, and might as well say it while we're here. Everyone, please like the video if you are watching live, or even if you're not watching live, if you're watching it after, put a like on the YouTube video or even Twitch. And give us a follow and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch, please. The more subscribers, the better for us. Or even comment on who you want to win the awards after you watch this. Put in the comments. I'll read it later. And we can always go through it again in the off season. Also, follow us on all social media accounts. Hit the downloads on the audio podcast. We'd really appreciate that too. And you have anything else to add, Dad?
No, that's it. Just we appreciate y'all listening to us. We're hoping we're growing hockey nation or around America and the world. I don't know. I know we've had people as far as like Australia and Germany at least listen to some of our podcasts. I'm hoping it keeps growing, and we do with word of mouth is the best advertising anybody can have. So if you do like our episodes, please share them with some friends, family members, your neighbors, your pastor at church.
So, all right, well, Kings fans, we'll see you next week. And Ducks fans, I'll see you the week after that. But even if you're a Ducks fan or a Kings fan, tune into the episode. You never know. You could learn something.
Absolutely.
So, all right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Go Kings, go.
Let's go, Ducks.